What's up guys, I'm Andy from 1A Auto. In this video, I'm going to show you how to service and change the transmission filter on this 2001 BMW 325Xi. If you need parts for your vehicle, click the link in the description and head over to 1aauto.com. To gain access to any of the transmission area, you're going to need to remove this panel. There's some Phillips head screws. These are retainers that hold it in. We already took these out because they're a little bit rusty. Most of these are broken. So there is two right there, and one goes right there. So just slide that off. So I want to drain this transmission pan. There is a drain plug. I'm going to use a T40. Now this drain plug's pretty rusty, so I'm not sure if it's a T40 or T45. T40 fits, but it does seem a little bit loose. So give this a try. All right, I'm gonna try the T45. So I'm gonna use a T45. I'm just going to tap it in. There we go. Now I'll just use a socket. Loosen it up. Open this up. Make sure you have a drain bucket underneath. Catch the fluid. And that fluid looks pretty nasty. It should have a red color to it, and it does not. Definitely not red. All right, now that's dripped out most of the fluid. I can take the drain plug, put the drain plug back in. Just make sure the seal looks okay on that. There's a little O-ring on there. Take my ratchet, snug it up. That's good. Now I'm going to use a 10mm socket extension and a ratchet. I want to remove these bolts from this transmission pan. Now there is a couple different transmissions that come in this vehicle, so this would work for this. If yours is different, then it's going to require different components. All right, so I got most of these out. I did leave one of the corner bolts in just like that on that one, and also on this corner. So when I take these out, then I'm gonna separate the pan from the transmission, and then it won't fall. Because sometimes if it falls, then you get transmission fluid all over the place. Even if you drain it out, there's still gonna be some in there, so. Get that out. Now I'm just gonna take a pry bar. Find a location you can pry a little bit. Be careful not to hit any of the machine surfaces. Get that loose, I can take these down. Put that one down and support the pan while you take the other one down. You can drop the pan. Make sure you still have the drain bucket underneath because the filter's gonna drain. So with the pan down, it's actually a good idea to take a quick look inside the pan and see if you see any excessive material. I don't see any big metal pieces. If you did see metal pieces, then you're gonna have internal transmission damage. I don't see any in this. There is a little bit of metal on this magnet right here, which is normal wear for the age of this vehicle. This vehicle has about 120,000 miles on it. So that actually looks pretty good. You see a little bit of metal in there, but just not big pieces. If you saw big pieces, then that would be of concern. Another thing you want to look at is the fluid condition. Just see if there's any clutch material in it. You can also look in the pan. I didn't see any clutch material in this one. And when you're draining it out, you could see. A lot of times if the fluid's burnt, it's gonna smell horrendous. This fluid does not smell that bad, so it's not burnt, which is good. But when it's burnt, it's gonna smell so bad that if you walked out of the room and walked back in the room, you should be able to smell it very strongly. then if you have that burnt smell, then you probably have some kind of internal transmission components that have failed. So I'm just gonna pull this filter out. Just grab the filter right here. It goes in up front here, and grab it in the back. Just slide it down slowly. And there's the seal right there. Pull that out, drain that out. I'm just gonna remove the gasket. I'm just gonna use a little pick. Just get underneath here and pry up. Just be careful not to scratch the pan. And then pull the gasket up. We are gonna replace this, obviously. Peel that up. All right, good. Now we're gonna bring this over to the parts washer and wash it. So I just compared the old filter to the new filter, and the new filter comes with the seals. This was actually just a spacer that's on the new filter. So those seals are still up in the transmission. So what I need to do is I'm gonna take this little hook pick, try to grab the seal without damaging the transmission. And just pull those down. You could probably use a screwdriver or something else. All right, I'll pull the other one down too. Try not to score the side. There we go. Pull that one down too. Now I'll take the new filter, just rub a little bit of that transmission fluid on the seal. Slide it in position and push it up. All right, so that's bottomed out, so that's good, and that's sitting properly. I take a rag and clean off all this area. Just wipe it down. You can use a little bit of brake parts cleaner. I'd spray it on the rag. I wouldn't actually spray it at the transmission. Clean that up good. So if you see any of the gasket material still left on there, you could take a razor blade, or a scraper would probably be a little safer. Be careful with a razor blade and just scrape it. All right, so we cleaned up the pan. Do the same on the pan. Make sure there's no gasket material left behind. So just take a razor blade, clean up any of this, or a scraper. Make sure you get any of the old gasket material off. Now that's clean. I'm just gonna take the gasket, line it up with the holes. All right, that looks pretty good. And this gasket comes with some new bolts. So I'm gonna use the new bolts with the filter kit. Slide that in position. Get a couple of these bolts started in the corners, opposite corners. Just use a 10mm socket extension, and then I'll get the other one started. And I'm gonna go around and just snug these all up. Just gonna go to the outer corners first. And then I'm gonna go back around and torque them all. I'm gonna go back around with a torque wrench and torque these all to 48 inch-pounds. I'm gonna take a 17mm wrench, and I'm just gonna take the fill plug out. Loosen that up. It would be a good idea to pull this fill plug out before you actually started draining the fluid, just in case this does not come out, because in that case you would not be able to get fluid into the transmission. So make sure you try to take this off before you drain the fluid, or take the pan off. We forgot to do that before. Now we're gonna wanna transfer the fluid You can use a pump and make sure you use the appropriate fluid. You can check the owner's manual to make sure you get the right fluid. A lot of times it tells you what kind of fluid right here, so check that. And then we're using this gun style pump. This is more like a grease gun style fluid transfer pump. So we put the fluid in here and then transfer it in there. Takes a lot of effort, so a regular pump would work better. All right, there we go. Whoops. All right, just put my finger over the hole for a second. All right, and I got a nice stream coming out, which is good. So what I'm gonna do now is I'll take the fill plug, put that back in. Now, I don't have to tighten this all the way down, but I am gonna start the vehicle and run it through the gears. And then with the vehicle running, still in park, we're gonna come back down and check it. To check the transmission fluid level, I need to start the vehicle, let it run for a minute, shift from park to reverse to drive, then back to reverse, then back to park. Do that a couple times, and then I'm gonna raise the vehicle up, and I have to check it at the fill plug with the vehicle running. You wanna do this before the transmission warms up too much. If it warms up over 130 degrees, then you're gonna have to wait till it cools down. Take a 17mm wrench and check the fill plug is right here. Pull this out. And we wanna see a slight stream of transmission fluid. There's no stream. So what we're going to do is we're going to add a little bit of transmission fluid. Keep in mind the engine is still running. It is getting pretty hot right here near the exhaust, so be careful. There's a little stream. Just gonna hold my finger over the plug for a second, over the fill hole. And that looks pretty good. So that's a nice stream draining out. So that's full. That's what you want. Take the fill plug. If you have a new seal, put it on. This one looks pretty good. Take the 17mm wrench and snug it up. Looks good. Take a little brake parts cleaner, wash off the excess. Just be careful around the exhaust.
Thanks for watching. Visit 1AAuto.com for quality auto parts shipped to your door, the place for DIY auto repair. And if you enjoyed this video, please click the subscribe button.